Hello, Tonic Campers. I'm so excited to be here with you in your inbox today as we get ready for launch camp. My name is Jeff. I'm the customer success lead at Showit, and I'm coming to you live from my parents' very chic 70s basement, popcorn ceilings and all in Kansas. So we're going to get started today. I'm going to give you all the info that you need to get comfortable with Showit so that you can make the most of your launch camp experience and get your brand new Tonic site launched. So let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to be using a classic Tonic template, the Margarita template. My role here today is to help you with the Showit interface. So, disclaimer, there's a bunch of other stuff that you should be doing or have done by now. You can find all of that information on Tonic's awesome Getting Started page, which you see here. So go ahead and use this page as your guide while you go through building your site. It's going to give you all of the info you need about curating images, getting all of your copy ready, all that good stuff that you need to be successful here inside Showit. So assuming that you already have that done or are working on that, we're going to pick up working with the actual platform. So the first thing you're going to notice here is we have a side-by-side view between the mobile and desktop styles of your site. This is our best practice for how to edit. If you have the screen room to do so, we suggest editing this way because it just makes things easier. If you're on a smaller screen, you can always feel free to condense down to just one version of the design or the other while you're working. But let's go ahead and get started with the panel on the left here. So the panel on the left we call our Site panel, and it's got two tabs, the Site tab and the Page tab. The Site tab is going to be all of your more global, overarching site settings. So here you get some site settings. This is where you would request a blog, put in your Google Analytics. Under social, you can put in all of your social links so that you can reference those. This is where you would rename your template, connect your domain when you're ready, set your favicon, and all that good stuff. Now the other global setting, this one's very important here, the design settings. So this is where you're going to make big change to your template really quickly. I always love to use this as an example because it makes Jen and Jeff's skin crawl after they've created a beautiful template for me to wreck it, but it really shows how this section works. So if I come in here and choose the ugliest brand fonts in the world, which why would you, but in this case I'm going to, you're going to see things already starting to change here. Our color is changed here, and then I can also come in and even change fonts, even independently between desktop and mobile. If I wanted to break this font out and set it independently, it's currently set to the same on both ends. I just click on font. Now I get these nice little controls here. So I could come in here and do pretty pin, and you'll see it's changed on desktop but has not on mobile. I can go to the mobile tab and dial that in separately, or if I like pretty pin and I want to use it on both, then I can just click the font tab again with my desktop selected and choose to merge using desktop, and it's going to apply that to both. So you'll see you have the same controls for size, line height, all of those, even letter spacing. You can break anything out that has a dotted line under it and customize those independently or merge those based on the value that you like best. So now that we've made these beautiful changes to our site, let's go ahead and save it. And you can already see that my template is starting to change. Those colors that I've selected are being peppered throughout wherever they were relevant. And so it's going to give you big change to your template. Let's go ahead and restore it to something pretty here. There we go. So the design settings are the quickest way to customize your template in a big way. Also, you can add fonts over here. You can choose from any of the free Google fonts or add custom fonts, and we have help docs for that. Where can you find the help docs, you ask? Well, great question. You can find them right here in the bottom right corner. This little icon will take you to our help library of over 300 help docs, or you can click on the chat bubble and chat with our team anytime. Next is the media library. We'll briefly touch on this. The media library handles PNG and JPEG file types. It also takes SVGs. It will take GIFs and video, but they can't be larger than 8 megabytes. If you need video larger than that, you should look at a Vimeo or a YouTube hosting option, and you can embed it very easily inside of Showit. We have help docs to walk you through all of that. Now, inside your media library, you can also categorize things with folders, search by file type. There's all kinds of good stuff that you can do in here. So make sure to give yourself plenty of organization in here to make your process easier. Now, another pro tip that I always like to tell people is you've got yourself a Tonic template. All right, you started with the Ferrari of templates here. So why give it a terrible paint job? So my advice to you, if you're looking for it, would be to start by replacing the content in the template with your own content. So I would come through here and let's say that I wanted this to be a picture of me, and of course this is a picture of me, don't ask questions, I would quickly double click that and can replace it with the exact same dimensions of that photo. So you can see how quickly we can start to make this our own. If I want to switch out these popsicles with a different type of image, I could come in here, maybe I'm a video service, I can add that really quickly with the same dimensions. Or if I want to change it up a little bit, I can easily drag those and you'll see our snapping lines are going to show you exactly when it's even. So similar to content replacement, the other best thing you can do when you're first getting into your Showit site is kind of take an inventory. Look through every page, all the canvases on the page. You might be asking yourself, what is a canvas on a page? We're going to get to that next. But taking stock of all the pages in your design and all the canvases on those pages to understand which ones you need, which ones you might not want to use or bring back in later as your business grows, is going to help you not get overwhelmed with all the content in here. Now, the most important thing here, these pages that say blog demo delete, please delete them. They're demo pages only for demoing your template before you purchase. They have no relevance inside your design once you start building. Now, we touched on canvases. Let's get back to that. So as I said before, this sidebar has two tabs. We're in the site tab, but if we want to drill down to the content on a particular page, like the home page, which we have selected, or if we selected any one of these other pages, it would do the same. We can go to the page tab and now we see canvases on the page. So canvases you can think of as the building blocks of your page. So for example, here we have our hero canvas. I can click on that in the sidebar and it will take me there, like our offering canvas. Or if I'm scrolling and for example, I want to interact with the CTA canvas, I can choose it here and you'll see it is opened it in our left sidebar as well. So within each canvas, you have all of the elements on the canvas, which you can see here. And if you hover over them, it will show you which elements those are. Now you also see that we have these icons here. These are our toggle switches. So if we change back to our desktop and mobile side-by-side view, get down to our CTA here, there we go. So now I could actually toggle something off, for example. Let's say that for whatever reason I didn't want this SVG to be on mobile. I select it and then click the mobile icon and you'll see it's now gone from the mobile site but stays on the desktop site. So you can customize things really heavily between mobile and desktop design. The reason we give you so much flexibility between the mobile and desktop designs is because so many consumers these days are looking for goods and services on their mobile device. So we want you to be able to dial in the perfect mobile site for your business. Now, just like you can toggle elements on or off on a canvas, you can toggle an entire canvas on or off. Anytime you see three dots like this, it's an options menu. You click it and you're going to get additional options. So we can do a few things in here. We can rename, we can add canvas views, duplicate the canvas, copy it, cut it. Layout Mobile, which is a great mobile tool. So if you've added a lot of new elements to a canvas, then Layout Mobile will be your best friend. If you are just replacing content on a canvas, it won't really be relevant and you won't really need it. You can also convert to a site canvas. We'll talk about site canvases in a minute, but what I want to show you here are these checkboxes. So I can actually make this entire canvas no longer visible on mobile. You'll see it's gone from my mobile design and I have this icon indicating it is only visible on desktop. Similarly, I can hide an entire canvas. So let's say that I love the quiz canvas, but I don't have a quiz right now. I'd like to integrate one in the future, but I don't have one today. Instead of deleting it, I can simply uncheck both boxes and now it is no longer in my design, but I can still see that canvas here and it shows me it's hidden with this little icon. So I mentioned site canvases. What are they? How do I know what they are? Why do they exist? Let's answer those questions. Site canvases are these canvases here that have this little striping across them. And if I click it, you'll see that striping here. It'll say site canvas and you'll be able to click into edit via this button, or this button. So a site canvas is different from a page canvas because it is shared across multiple pages typically. Now, if you are converting something to a site canvas, you would still have to add it to those other pages. But the really cool thing is here, once I have something set as a site canvas, most commonly headers, footers, menus, anything that's going to be across multiple pages, opt-ins, call to actions, things like that. If I want to make any change, all I have to do is change it on the site canvas and it will change everywhere. So a quick example of that is I can come down here and add this icon. And now if I go back to my home page, there it is. And if I go to a page that we've never been on, like coaching, there it is as well. Because it's a site canvas, which is shared, any change I make is automatically going to be added to every site canvas in the site and update across any instances of that site canvas in your entire site. So let's take a look at some of our tools in the bottom toolbar here, which we just briefly looked at. In the bottom toolbar here, as we mentioned, you can toggle between views, side by side, mobile only, or desktop only. This little icon will give you some different options. You can actually turn snapping on or off, turn on centered guidelines, display column guides if you want to make sure you get everything lined up perfectly, or you can display a mobile overlay on your mobile version if you please. These icons here will allow you to zoom in, out, or reset your zoom. These icons are the most important. Here's how you add any new content to a canvas. So if I wanted to add content to my hero canvas, I would just need to have it selected by clicking on it, and then I could add a piece of text if I wanted. I could add a rectangle or a line or an icon, embed code, which would be used for a third-party service like a contact form or something. Those video options we talked about to embed Vimeo or YouTube videos. You can add gallery widgets, or you can add our social grid, which will display your Instagram feed in real time and auto-update as you post. You can also add a brand new image to a canvas. If you don't want to replace an image, just choose your image and you can add it to page, then move it around, resize it, do whatever you want here. Now, the important thing about images in Showit is they're best sized at 3500 pixels on the long side of the image. From there, Showit has a tool that will resize them and do all the work for you. As we continue to move on here, we have our undo and redo buttons. These are great in line. So if I make a change I don't want, I accidentally deleted that photo, I can come back here and click undo just like that. So those are great tools if you need to make a quick undo or redo of something while you're working on your site. As I mentioned before, in this corner is where you get help. You can view our help docs or chat with our team. And if we go way back to the left here, your name in the bottom left corner is a powerful submenu that does a lot of things. So I wanted to save this for last. If I click on my name, you'll see that we can see several things here. I can view all my site designs. So if I have multiple designs, I can go here to look through them, switch between them. If I want to add a new design to my account, this will not replace any current designs I have. It will just add a new one. I can do that there. I can view shared designs. I can add to my library. So if you have your TONIC share key, you would click here to add that share key to your library. I can manage my account, which will take me to my account screen, manage my subscription, and manage my domain names. Also, if you have contributor access, which is great if you're working with a designer, you can give them contributor access to jump into your site and make changes and work with you. You'll see that listed here. Likewise, if you're just getting started with your TONIC template in Showit, when you first log into Showit the very first time, it'll force you to pick a design to start with. Choose any old design, it really doesn't matter. Once you're in there, you'll come in, click on your name, go to Create New Design, and then from there you can go to Your Designs, and here you can add a design to your library, and then you can go ahead and choose that design. So that is how you'll add your custom TONIC template into your library. Alright, so we've covered the site panel on the left, we've covered the toolbar on the bottom. Now let's look at what we call the properties panel on the right side here. So the properties panel is just that. It's going to allow you to adjust properties for any piece of content that you have selected. So this is a progressive panel. It changes with your selection. So if I choose text, for example, I can change my text style, my text properties, I can set a size or position lock, I can add a click action to it. Click actions are how you get everywhere in your site, and they're an awesome tool for actually doing a little reverse engineering. So for example, if I wanted this about to go to about, then I would select page and about. Or for example, if I had questions about what actual page the inquire button took me to, I can select it and see that that takes me to the contact page, and then go to the contact page and make adjustments there. So it's great to kind of reverse engineer, see where things link, better understand things. You can also apply transitions, hovers, and various effects as well. So for example, if I were to click this rectangle here and go to effects, I can actually round the corners if I want to. So this is automatically going to round them all 10 pixels, and this is locked together. But if I actually wanted to adjust this independently, what I could do is change this, and I could adjust any corner to any value that I wanted here. So now I've rounded my top corner by 60 pixels and my bottom by only 10. So you can create some really interesting shapes with that tool. Another great tool inside of the properties panel is if I have a piece of content selected, which I want to stay on the side of the screen, for example, then I would add a position lock here. So I'm going to go ahead and take the position lock off of courses and demo this so you can see how it's looking. So if we go to our preview here, now you'll see that courses is skewing to the middle whereas everything else is holding to the side. That's because all of these elements have the correct position lock. So if you're ever in this case where something is skewing way out of line of where it should be between the back end and the preview, that almost always means that you either have a position lock applied or should apply one that isn't there. So that's a great pro tip to just kind of check if you run into that situation. So if this issue were to present, I would simply check on courses since it appears to be the outlier. Look at photography. Okay, it's got the lock. Courses doesn't. I'm going to add the lock, and now everything should be previewing how I want it to. There it is, just like that. Another great thing about the preview while we're in here, you can preview the mobile or the desktop version very simply, but you also get this live preview link here. So if I click this, it's going to pop me out to a full browser preview, which is fantastic because you can actually take this link, share it with friends, family, colleagues, anyone that you want to look through the site before you officially launch it. And this is a live preview, so they can poke through everything. Everything will work, except for the blog, which we'll talk about a little bit later. They can submit contact forms. This is a fully functioning demo, so this is a great way to comb through everything before you launch your site for the world to see. So again, the properties panel will allow me to do a lot of different things. For example, I've selected the canvas itself, so you can see that none of the elements on the canvas are selected, just the hero canvas. So now that I have the hero canvas itself selected, I get my different canvas properties. So I could name it here. I could change the stacking order if needed, which is rarely needed. It's mostly used for menus and things that should cover other content. I could change my canvas type. I have normal window height, which will automatically expand to show in the full size that the display is being viewed on. That's great if you want something really visually impactful. Or grow with content, which is only relevant for certain types of canvases, often in the blog. But if you have something like a tiled gallery, or if you've embedded a piece of embed code, whether that's a quiz, or if you have something embedded on a particular canvas using the embed code, the grow with content setting will make sure that that canvas expands if needed to accommodate that embed code. And then you have the sticky setting. So if you want something to stay at the top of the page at all times, like for instance, we could have our menu do that, then we could set it to sticky and it would do so. And last but not least, you have hidden to start, which is again, typically only used if you want to reveal content on a click or something like that. And this is commonly used a lot of times in galleries. So another pro tip here, if you are seeing something in the builder in the back end here, and when you preview that canvas is not showing, it's almost always because that canvas is set as hidden to start. So just click on the canvas and check for this setting. And if you want it to show at all times in line, simply click to uncheck this box. With the canvas selected, next in our properties panel, we have the canvas background tab. So from here, it's similar to your design settings. You can break something out to be desktop and mobile specific, or you can merge that thing. So let's use our brand bio canvas for this example. If I wanted to break out the media type and set an image instead, I could do that quite easily. Select the image I want, and then add it in there just like that. So you can see now that I've added that image. I could then set mobile separately, or if I wanted this image to be on both, I would just click media type and merge using desktop. And now if we take a look, you'll see that both our mobile and desktop have this image, which makes 0 sense behind them, but it was the first one available, so I clicked it. So we're going to undo that and re-beautify the template here. Wonderful, there we go. In addition to those settings, you can also play with canvas animations, view transitions if you have canvas views, and scroll actions, which are pretty specific, but they can trigger something based off of a scroll. So we talked a little bit about canvas views. Let's cover those in greater detail. For this example, I'm going to just go ahead and make some really quickly here. You might find some in your template, or you might have a reason to make some. Canvas views are housed on one single parent canvas, and you can think of them almost as a slideshow where you can have completely unique content in each view. So I'm going to use our offering one canvas here, and I'm going to turn this into a few different services that people can look through. So I'm going to add a canvas view. I'm going to select everything that we have so far and drop that into the view, and I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that so we have an exact copy of that view. And then I can swap out my content here. This is going to be services 2, different information here. So now we have these two unique views where we can cycle through our services, or people like to use these for about sections. You can have, a few of my favorite things, run people through things. It's a great way to add interactivity to your site to keep people engaged with your content. So now I'm actually going to add a piece of subheading here, and I'm going to say next. And we'll just add a rough little arrow there. Sure. So I'm actually going to drag this next button outside of all my views, just like that. So you'll see it's no longer in either of these canvas views. And if I add a click action to it, called canvas, this canvas, and we're going to set it to next. Now this is going to, when I click it, cycle to my next canvas view. So let's go ahead and preview this. Come down here to my offerings canvas, and I look at my next offering, and I can cycle all the way through my different services that I have to offer here. So again, canvas views are a great way to add interactivity to your site or to display a large amount of content in a fairly concise way. In the properties panel, when we have text selected, we get all of these different styling customizations. We can change the colors of inline links and how they format, all that good stuff. You can set your text properties, which Ryan will talk more about in the SEO section of things. Again, you have your size and position locks. You can center things to the canvas. Another great option is you can actually click and drag to select multiple things, and you'll get our multi-item alignment menu. So we have a help doc that will walk you through what all of these things are, but it's a great way to quickly distribute things evenly in a list or align things how you want. Another really great tool that we have is a locking mechanism. So for example, let's say that I know that I want this photo here. I'm doing some other work on the canvas and I tend to keep grabbing this and accidentally moving it. I can actually come over here and click this lock icon. It's going to show me it's locked. And now I cannot move this element no matter how hard I try. I can move everything else on the canvas, but I cannot move this. So this is a really popular option if you have a particular background element that you're using that you keep catching a lot while you're making other adjustments and just want it to be locked in place. All right, let's chat about the blog. This is often one of the most confusing pieces of Showit because we integrate with WordPress, but I'm going to explain it all very simply for you right now and show you an example. So inside your TONIC template in the site panel over here under the blog templates section, these are the only pages in your template that will connect with your blog. That is why these demo delete pages do not matter because they are not in this section and they cannot connect with your blog. So your blog functions as your post list, which is a list of all of the posts that you've created. Your single post page here functions as basically an open post. So if I'm on your blog reading and I were to click into a post, it's going to load in this format for me to read. Now the important thing to note is these pages are ready to work out of the box for you. TONIC has done all of the work for you. You really don't need to do anything except put in your blog setup request. We have a help doc that will walk you through that if need be, and then start blogging in WordPress, which we'll show you in a minute. All of the content in here are placeholders. So if we select any piece of content and then go to text properties, you'll see it has a WordPress placeholder attached to it. This is set as the title. This is set as the top category, the post date, an excerpt, and then our post content. So all of this is going to be replaced by the content you've created for your specific blog posts inside of WordPress. Basically, when your site is live, Showit and WordPress can then talk to each other, and Showit will say, hey WordPress, put that title here, put all the content in that post here, all that good stuff. So you really don't need to worry about any of that. There's only a couple of things you need to worry about in the blog, which I want to walk you through now. So for example, if we select a canvas and then look at the canvas type, right here it's going to show us if it is static content. If it's static content, that means it has to be manually updated. It will not pull content in automatically from WordPress. If it is in post loop, next post start, or post view lookup, that means it does have WordPress connectivity and can actually pull content in automatically from WordPress. So on my canvas here that has all of my content from my blog post, you'll see it's in post loop, so it's automatically going to pull that content in. Now, if I were to drill in a little bit further here and look at my sidebar, I'll click into edit it, you'll see my sidebar is static content. So this sidebar is not going to automatically be filled with content from WordPress. You will actually need to come in here, put a picture of yourself here, change this content, link these up. The search bar will be ready to go. It's already set with the proper setting. It's good to go. And then with these now trending sections and all of this stuff here, you would actually have to manually link this up in this particular instance because it is a static content canvas. So as you get here into the blog, you can kind of run through to understand that. For instance, this is a next post start canvas, so it is going to pull this in. but these items here are not WordPress placeholders, meaning they're meant to be manually linked up to different articles of your choosing. So this is where you have to do a little bit of sleuthing and walk through and look at some of the settings to know what is set up to do what. So for example, this Now Trending section. So if we look here in this Now Trending section, it is a post view lookup canvas. We have it set to show multiple posts, which you can see here. And it is set to order by comment count. So it's going to pull in 3 posts as shown here with the highest number of comments on your blog. So I want to give you guys a quick little bit of insider information. This isn't public knowledge yet, but it might be by the time you're in launch camp, so I want to make you aware. These changes are around canvas views. This is how they currently look. We're actually going to be changing the look of canvas views from these folder icons to more of a tab icon. So you might see that change already when you're working during launch camp. The other really cool thing is on a canvas like this that has multiple canvas views to display posts, instead of them only showing one at a time, they'll actually all show together despite being in their separate views, which they have to be for things to work out properly. So if you have Margarita and you're on this exact canvas a week from now, a couple days from now, I'm not exactly sure when it's dropping, it might look different, so just please bear that in mind. So again, we can kind of continue to walk through here this featured story. It's a post view lookup canvas based off of a tag called featured. So you would actually have to separately create that tag inside of WordPress, very easy to do. Then you can tag any article you want to pull into this section with that featured tag, and any new article that has that tag would pull into this section. So here, this is our in-post loop canvas. This is essentially going to be our layout for blog posts. You can see that we only have one laid out here, but that doesn't matter because the way that this page works is it's going to take this post. It's again going to communicate with WordPress and say, hey, put the featured image here, put the blog title here, and then it's going to repeat this layout down the page as many times as you tell it to. WordPress defaults to 10 posts per page, but you can adjust that number inside of WordPress if desired. Now let's take an actual look at how blogging works, because I know that it can be a little bit confusing. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my dashboard. So to get to this point, you'll have needed to put in a blog setup request by clicking the site settings option in the site panel on the left, going to the blog tab and putting in that request. Again, if you have any questions, check out our help doc called Request a Blog Setup or Migration. It'll walk you through all the steps. Once you do that, our team will set your blog up for you and we'll let you know when it's all done. So, for example, this would be me at that stage where the Showit team has let me know my blog is done. I've gotten in here, I've created a handful of posts. You can see that I have 12. So if I'm going in here for the first time, I would hover over posts and choose add new and create that post. So I'll go to post real quickly and just show you some of what we have in here. So I can go to edit, and this is where you'll actually put in your personalized post content. So here you would put in a title, any content that you have as far as copy, images, and then you would want to make sure to set a featured image. This is what's going to pull into your blog page, so every single post should have a featured image. Here's where you can also set tags, you can apply categories, all that good stuff that you need to do there. So since I have all of that done, and I'm using my Margarita template, you can see that I haven't done anything to the template at all. All I'm going to do is just click publish here. I want to make sure, since I have a blog, that this box is checked so that everything publishes correctly. There we go, we have a successful publish. So now if I come in here, I can go to view site, and I can go to blog. So now this shows me that I'm on my blog page, and you can see that already it's replacing the default content with my personal content that I've added in here. Now see, this is showing up blank. You might be wondering why. I don't have anything set with a featured tag, so in that case it's not going to pull anything in. So I could go in and set any of these posts with the featured tag and it would then pull into this section. But once we get down here to our post list, it's going to list all of the posts you've created in descending order from newest to oldest. So you can see all of my posts here, and if you have enough posts, then your pagination will show up. If by chance you don't yet have enough posts to warrant a second page, then these controls will not show up. For example, you don't see the newer posts because I'm on the newest possible page. But if I go to our older page here, then you'll see I have my newer post option and no older posts because I'm on the oldest page. So let's take a look at that single post view layout. So let's use this coffee post and take a look at our single post page. So you can see a little bit here. This is the title. Here's my excerpt, the featured image I've set. I did not categorize it, so it reads as uncategorized. And if I click into it, it takes us into that single post style. Again, we're seeing the date, we're seeing the category if there is one, and you can see the content that I have put into this post all showing here for me, expanding nicely. The comment section as well is all going to be taken care of for you. TONIC has handled all of that, so you don't need to worry about it at all. But you can also see that my sidebar is still the exact same static content from the template because I have not manually customized this content here. So that just goes to show you how easy it is to work in the blog. You really don't need to do much but get it set up, start blogging, and let the template do the rest. Now, one pro tip here is that the site must be live in order for the blog to function. That's the only way that Showit and WordPress can talk to each other and replace that content. So some people get nervous, they want to make sure everything's perfect before people see it. That's totally fine. You can do one of two things. You can either go to your menus wherever there's a blog option, and you can just simply toggle that off so that it's not there until you're ready to toggle it back on. Or you could change the blog click action and we could send it to a static page. So I could come in here, for example, and let me just do a quick duplicate of my 404 page, and we'll call it blog coming soon. And we'll just say the blog isn't here yet, come back later. So now what I can do is simply go into my menu and change the page from blog to our blog coming soon page. And now if I preview this, of course I would want to publish if the site is live, but if I click blog, it takes me to that coming soon page. So that's a great way to do things. You can set up your blog to go to a coming soon page so that you can test everything, get it dialed in, start creating your posts, whatever you need to do to get the blog sharp and ready. And then as soon as you are ready, you just simply change that back from the coming soon page to the actual blog page, and you will be ready to go. The other tip that I will tell you, this is a common piece of confusion. The blog menu item is going to come by default linked up to the blog demo page because it needed to be that way for people to demo the template. So people always get confused. They click on blog, all they see is the dummy content, the placeholders, and they wonder why their blog isn't working. It's almost always simply that they need to actually link that text to the blog page. All right, folks, there you have it. That is the quick and dirty rundown, if you will, of Showit. There's a lot of nuance in here. There's a lot of tools that you can still discover that we didn't have time to touch on in depth today. But my goal was to give you an understanding of the platform tools, how it functions, and where things are. So my hope is that you're walking away from this session with that understanding as you prepare for the rest of Launch Camp. So as always, if you have questions, the Showit team is in office from about 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Monday through Friday. We do have some supplemental coverage outside of those hours, but we also have a great help doc library. Again, it's over 300 help docs with images, GIFs, videos, step-by-step directions to walk you through all of the tools in Showit to give you exactly what you need to be successful. And you can chat our team anytime. It doesn't matter if we're around or not. We will get to your question as soon as we are back online. So the best way that you can chat us is to be specific. Come in and let us know what your problem is, what page it's on, what exactly is happening. That helps us help you quicker. A lot of times people might come in and say, my gallery's broken. We see a lot of sites. We don't know what page your gallery is on. We don't know which gallery on that page it is. So the more specific you can be, the quicker our team can help you get that issue resolved. So I hope this has been helpful. I've been so pleased to be here with you all again at another TONIC launch camp. I hope the rest of camp is fantastic, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.